it is. Call them here. Tell them you see that. I need to talk to y'all anyhow. All y'all COI people, call them all, because I need to talk to all of y'all anyhow. Tonight, Michael Pentard and his crew and Brave Davis and his crew had to sit down and watch COI open their headquarters. And that same Michael Pentard who borrowed your team might be looking to borrow something else. Because he ain't making it. Huh? Michael Pentard stole your team. COI. And tonight, what you were doing with opening your headquarters was so pivotal, so awesome, so mind-shattering that the PLP couldn't resist but send the police. They couldn't resist but to send the police with a wrecker to conduct a roadblock to see who these people is who going to the COI opening. They send the police. And you know it was a garbage thing because one of the vehicles that they were using to come to the scene was a vehicle, a police vehicle with one headlight. One headlight. Because they know poor people can't afford to license their vehicles, so they make sure put the police out there because they don't need them poor people going to COI opening to get any hope. They don't want them to hear the message of change and hope that is being brought forth by COI. They don't want them to hear that message. So before they let them hear that message, they got to give them a ticket. It's the PLPs. They stifling the poor. And many said he will help the poor in his next term. And Michael Pentard is still trying to figure out who's leading the F&M. Because the truth of the matter is, if Hubert Ingram is deciding who the candidates are, then the leader of the F&M is not Michael Pentard. Huh? You better wake up. These gang of crooks. I had some other stuff I need to talk to y'all about, but I gotta get this. Let me get this out of the way. Hubert Ingram, when he came to the F&M, made this commitment that he would ensure that prime ministers are only able to have 2 terms in office. He said he would make sure that the prime ministers once elected, I have an issue. Hubert Ingram said he would make sure that once prime ministers who are elected would only have 2 terms in office. That was his commitment. That was one of the things, that was one of the reasons why the FNMs elected Hubert Ingram as the leader of their party, and why they gave him charge. Now, once Hubert Ingram took charge and he became leader, he started to do all the things that he wanted to do, including manipulating the party for himself, including he got rid of the Immovable Properties Act. He turned around at some point and sold BTC. He did all kinds of things to undermine and destroy the Bahamian people. It is what it is. They say he opened the airwaves, but I understand the reason why the airwaves were open was partly also because of international agreements that the country had signed, because what was happening was the PLP had the airways controlled by ZNS, which means they did not allow other radio stations in because they didn't want people to hear anything other than what the PLP wanted them to hear. They still lost the election anyway, so I don't know why they did that. All right? Now, does somebody say ride with grave to the grave? All right, anyhow. Now, Hubert Ingram promised 2 terms. And he lied. Because Hubert Ingram himself did 3 terms. Abraham manipulated the party. Well, you know, the Young Turks, Carl Bethel, Tommy Turnquest, the young folks in Chicago, along with the Young Turks of the FNM. They thought that they could have control of the party.